The parliamentary system has some pretty breathtaking checks and balances, and Keir Starmer has just been checked and balanced straight out of the Prime Minister's office. Keir Starmer cries like a little girl as he quits number 10 Downing Street's, deluded by his achievements. Amazing how these people, till the bitter end, will tell you how great they are, how incredible they are. Hillary Clinton right now will tell you that she's the president of the United States and that she won the 2016 election. Keir Starmer didn't win. Look at this. Labor lost 1,400 seats in the last election. 1,400 seats. You know, we're quibbling over like 10, 11 seats in the House. Those are the only swing districts. There's like 16 swing districts in the House of Representatives. And we're squabbling over those 16 seats. Labor lost 1,400, nearly 1,500 seats. That's more than all the House and Senate combined in our national party. And these are local elections in 2016. The map is totally devastating. Labor didn't win a single, again, they didn't win a single seat. They didn't gain a single seat. This is the guy in charge of the Labor Party. You can see here, Labor is in the red, okay? They're the libs, red communists. And the skyrocketing is the Reform Party. This is how Labor performed. There was no other way. There was no other path here. Now, of course, Keir Starmer is also the man who brought England to its knees and has destroyed this once proud, sturdy nation culturally, the nation that brought and visited Western civilization upon a third of the world was under its stewardship just 100 years ago. I mean, like we were talking the start of World War I, Britain owned a third of the world was owned by Britain or was a colony of Britain. So we've never seen a collapse like this. Fast forward 100 years and the nation itself, the island itself, is being colonized. And that's precisely what led to this man crying in his
decision I've taken. Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision. I will ask the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party to set out a timetable with nominations opening on the 9th of July and completed by the summer recess.
Okay. I'm not sure about this guy making these little motions in the corner. I think he's actually making fun of Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer bursts into tears during his stream. My statement, a stream of tears pouring down his face. You deserve to be prosecuted for 2,500 girls raped. You said nothing while looking the other way. It's the absolute truth. Adios. You have failed your country. Retard. Good riddance. You absolute bum. Who will be proposed on July 9th. July 9th. It's like 3 weeks from now. No resignation will forever wake up with the fact that you led to the rape and torture of Christian girls across the UK. Three major things that Keir Starmer did is open up those borders so that as many gang rapists as possible could go through, and then he let the gang rapists continue to rape 25,000 or 250,000. It doesn't matter. Or 25. That's too much. Doesn't matter. Everyone's squabbling over the number, saying the number, we're not sure about the number. It doesn't matter. If it's 2 girls, that's too much. The British Empire stood for 1,000 years completely and totally as a fortress on their island. There was never a successful ground invasion. Other than like little Viking raids, they never ever had to deal with any other conquering army. The French tried it. The Spanish tried it. The Germans tried it. Everybody's tried it. It didn't work. And they told the British people, Keir Starmer and his ilk told the British people that if you sacrificed your sons and daughters and let them bleed out on the beaches of Normandy and throughout the entire whole of Europe and all over the globe, that you will have security and prosperity here at home. And they didn't deliver on that. And this is ultimately the message to every single Western nation and every leader of that nation. We are well aware that our ancestors, our grandfathers, some of them are still around, fought and died, not so that a bunch of Ilhan Omars and a bunch of third worlders can come here and get welfare. They died so that we could live in relative peace and prosperity, and that was their sacrifice for us, for their children. They do not care about Somali children. They do not care about Sudanese children. These weren't even countries at the time. These countries didn't even know there were wars going on. They didn't die for Islam, and they didn't die for foreign alien cultures that are antithetical to Western Christendom. And so the leaders that decide that they are going to usurp that sacrifice and open up the front door to let barbarians into our lands too. And here's a couple things that happened under Keir Starmer. Beheadings in the street that happened in Northern Ireland. The killing of Henry Novak by a sheik who was allowed to carry an 8-inch ceremonial knife, go stab to death some young, affable British man, and then called him racist. And then Keir Starmer is the one who was in charge of all the prosecutions for the rape gangs. And he let them all go. This brings us so much joy. He also is the man who, of course, blocked influencers like this from coming to Britain in order to march with Tommy Robinson to save Western civilization. Feminism is a curse on humanity. I miss the days when it was unacceptable for men to act like sniveling cucks in front of the entire world. Repulsive. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has resigned. Not as much as the 250,000 rape victims have cried. That's exactly right. Ugh. Keir Starmer crying during his resignation.
Being the best husband I can. When I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job.
Goodness.
Being the best husband I can.
Oh, it's humiliating.
To my fantastic wife, Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad. And being the best dad I can to my beautiful children, who are my pride and my joy. Thank you very much.
Humiliating. Look at him wiping tears away, holding back tears, choking back tears. The worst prime minister in the government's history. Good riddance. Starmer resigns, says Rupert Lowe. He's been truly disgraceful. I don't believe him to be a good man or a patriot. He's deliberately, rapidly accelerated the destruction of Britain. That's true. History will not remember him kindly, nor should it. I sat in Parliament looking him in the eye, listening to him attempt to justify the decision to block the national inquiry on the rape of British girls. I will never forgive him for that. What comes next? I don't know. Whatever it is, Restore Britain will be ready to give the British people a democratic route, a better way, a better option. Starmer's gone, and that's a good thing. Enjoy it. See you in court, loser. That's right. Nigel Farage has called for a general election following Keir Starmer's resignation. Andy Burnham announces that he's running for Labour Secretary. Andy Burnham is just a dirty cuck globalist, the same thing. Reform demands a general election to fix broken Britain, says Nigel Farage. So let's let that happen, ladies and gentlemen. Please.
Yes. The sheer scale of our victory against Labour made it inevitable that this Prime Minister could not survive. And because of that, Burnham steps forward and wins quite convincingly the Makerfield by-election, ironically with the same message that we had in the local elections. Ours was vote reform, get Starmer out. His was vote Burnham, get Starmer out. Unbelievably, we're about to have our 6th Prime Minister in 7 years. I remember growing up thinking Italy was totally ungovernable as they went through a new Prime Minister every year, and yet that's where we are here. Why is it all happening? And why did we get that big number of votes in the north of England? Well, 10 years ago, on the 23rd of June, 2016, we voted Brexit. Much of our political establishment has never accepted the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, he goes on to make the case. We demand an election. We need to deliver radical change. Labour thinks that it can shove another professional politician into number 10. There's another thing coming. Okay. Look at all the prime ministers. So embarrassing. All the prime ministers in just a couple of short years. 7th prime minister in 10 years. Goodness, what a mess. The job of the UK prime minister is being equivalent of defending against the dark art teacher. Look at this. So here's the timeline. Nominations for Labour leader will open. Andy Burnham if he is unopposed, he'll become prime minister by July 18th. If opposed, the contest will be triggered and a new prime minister will be selected on September 1st. Keir Starmer gets a lot of criticism, and rightly so, although Andy Burnham is an absolute nut job. He'll plunge the country even more further into decay. So I feel like things are going to get worse before they get better. But we should, at the very least, celebrate one more globalist cuck down, proving our power. And now it's time to wield our power and save Western civilization from these absolute crying little baby weak men. Strong men create good times. Weak men create bad times. Strong men must take over and create good times. We're cheering for you, Britain. Let us know.